Don't test that stereo.
This is the Iron Sharpens Iron Show with your host, Latreese Cook.
Our listeners, you are tuned in with us this morning on the Iron Sharpens Iron Show, and I am your host, Latreese Cook. So extremely excited to be in the midst with you this morning to give you some information, talk, listen, and give you some flavor in your ear for sure. So, I want you to just continue to sit tight, listen, and learn this morning, this beautiful Thursday morning, right here on KAZI 88.7 FM. So much to talk about. First of all, just want to give a shout out to our viewing audience on Facebook Live, and for those of you all who are just tuned in on TuneIn Radio, thank you so much for streaming and listening with us this morning. We appreciate your listenership and your contact to us after we get off the air, all the things that say and that let us know that you appreciate the information and that you know that we are here to give you what you need. 512-836-2887 is the call-in number, 512-836-2887. You can use that phone number this morning to call in and get involved in the conversation. Gonna be all over the place this morning just because it is that type of Thursday morning. I have a co-host in the studio who also is a employee of the MELJ Justice Center, and I'm going to introduce this young lady in just a few minutes. She actually was here with you last week, and I had a little freak, had a little things going on, a little bit of this, that, and third. So I'm going to actually introduce her and let you hear her involvement, who she is, what she's going to be bringing in the absence from time to time of Latreese Cook, and she is definitely a representative of Iron Sharpens Iron and MELJ. And I just want to talk about, it's so many things to say. We're coming out of Mental Health Month, and and I was just thinking about how mental health issues are really real. Whether even if you've never been in really a stormy or adverse situation, things affect us. We are affected by things on a regular basis, and sometimes we really don't understand how the effect of just trying to live deals with our mental health, how we handle things, how we address stress, our responses. And so, I was thinking about just people that have been incarcerated and the impact of incarceration and what that really does do to somebody's mental health, their mentality, not only their mentality, how they feel on the inside, how they value themselves after incarceration. What does that really do? It diminishes sometimes people's confidence, and we recognize this. And so, mental health is a serious thing, and it's so serious that if somebody has been incarcerated and it goes unaddressed, does that constitute them having some form of disability, where we actually need to think about the fact of them receiving Social Security compensation because they have a valid disability that has been heightened and enhanced by incarceration that otherwise they may not have had. Even after being incarcerated for a short period of time, you are affected. And so this morning, we want to kind of just think about those people who are in our midst, who have this ill, and even the family members of those persons who are impacted significantly when someone that they love is incarcerated. 512-836-2887 is the call-in number. Iron sharpens iron. What does that mean? That means that I want to make sure that my brother or my sister, anything that I can do to help them to have have a good life, a better way to go, a better thought process, that I'm doing these things, that I'm actually picking and taking my brother or sister along. And we should all want to do that. It's not about personal accolades and our own personal gain. It's about making sure that you share that opportunity and that spotlight with others, your knowledge. Good morning to all of you, all the people who are just being a part of this. Good morning to my family, friends, MELJ Justice Center, those people that work to make a difference. All of you all, we thank you so much for your work and your kindness towards us. Good morning to this young lady who is sitting next to me, who is a co-host for the Sharpens Iron show, a new person in our midst. This young lady has come to us as a student at the Texas State University, and she is also from the Dallas area. We're not gonna fault her for that. And she is definitely a bright light, our communications manager coordinator, and I can tell you she is going to be a highlight to the Sharpens Iron show. Good morning, Ashley Guzman.
Good morning, beautiful people listening. How are we doing?
Well, Ashley, I just kind of want to talk to you just a little bit. I want you to give our listening, first of all, I'm sure you have to give some shout outs, because I'm sure it's folks that's listening in who you didn't get an opportunity to say too much to last week. So want to definitely give a shout out to those folks that are listening and supporting you this morning. Right after you do that, I want you to let us know what brings you into this field of working with people that have previously been incarcerated in the capacity that you are.
So I gotta give shout out to my Dallas people. I know how some people feel about Dallas, but couldn't pick where I was born and raised, but definitely a shout out to my mom and all my friends and people that support me back home, as well as my San Marcos family that I've definitely built here. Shout out to y'all know who y'all are. And then definitely what brought me into this line of work was basically I had a situation when I believe I was 18 years old. Mm-hmm. I was in a relationship with this man, and he basically, long story short, he got arrested. And so I don't really know where he is now or what's going on in that sense, but I just believe that a lot of the time people either are innocent and found guilty, or people are just given the short end of the stick. And so I believe everyone deserves a second chance in life, no matter what you did. We're human beings. We all mess up. We all have issues. And so I just think everyone deserves a second chance. And coming to MELJ, I was able to use my creative skills to help out in the world, which is something I've always wanted to do. So it's a fun time here. I'm really enjoying my time at MELJ.
Yeah, and we are so glad to have you. And then talk about just, expound a little bit on what you see. You were one of the ones that brought to our remembrance about mental health month last month, and as I was speaking about it this morning, how do you feel in the time that you've been with MELJ? How do you feel about the work you can do to bring actual light to those persons who will be viewing us about that issue?
So I've always said, my older sister, she just graduated with a psychology major, and so mental health is very important to me. Yay, Maggie. Shout
out to Maggie.
I definitely, mental health has always been very important to me. It hits close to home, and I always tell people she's the one that's smart enough to do the science side of it, and I'm the one that will do the advocacy side for it, because I just don't have the smarts to do all the science for psychology. But I definitely have the creative side and the voice to be able to talk about mental health. I can only imagine what people who are incarcerated deal with while being incarcerated, as well as after incarceration, because I mean, just normal people who don't get incarcerated deal with so much mental health wise, and I can only imagine what being incarcerated does to you mental health wise. Just you know, an everyday person can deal with mental health a certain way, but if you've been incarcerated, I feel like it's just 1,000 times worse.
It's definitely 1,000 times worse, and we recognize, because you're in an abnormal situation. You know, you literally are being taken away from having normal interactions with people. Everything about the relationships, even while in custody, are somewhat abnormal. And so we recognize that mental health issues are real and more compounded because of just the environment. You know, I think a lot of times we don't think about stuff. I was talking to someone on yesterday, 512-836-2887. If you want to join the conversation, I was thinking yesterday about how people who have, you know, have families, how it is a strange thing, even when your children are visiting, for them to have to come to a facility, be patted down, all these things. So it's not just about the individual who has is affected by being in custody, but even the things that their families have to go through in order for them to come and visit their loved ones. And so I think you have to think about that. We have another big issue that we are always faced with, and that's housing. That's something that we will be talking about off and on for the rest of this month on a regular and consistent basis, because it is truly affecting people that don't have a felonious background. So you can imagine for those people that do have a challenge background, a felony background, who are unable to even apply for housing because they are guaranteed to be denied based on their criminal history. And so we want to think about why are our officials, our elected officials, housing people, real estate commissions, all these regulatory agencies who are surrounded this issue. You recognize this as a problem. I've been in the business for 19 years, and it's been something they've been talking about, and we still don't have a viable answer for people to be able to put a key in their own door besides transitional housing. And what a myth to continue to talk about as you are running on these various platforms to get elected, in that you're going to do something about this housing thing when you all can't even get them to remove the question off a rental application. So it's a myth, and you know it is, and so we need to stop doing that. We're getting ready to have to head into a break in just a minute. 512-836-2887. And Ashley, you know as well as I do, housing has definitely been an issue that we have been faced with program participants calling in, you know, needing a place to be besides transitional housing, in a room, in, you know, inadequate environments. We're working on that, aren't we? Yeah,
yes.
We're working on that. We're working on that. We're going to be talking about that a little bit. We just want you to stay with us. Call in if you like, 512-836-2887. And you are tuned into the Iron Sharpens Iron show, and we'll be right back to you in just a minute. Stay tuned.
More than 370 children and sent more than 17,000 to the hospital. And what if I told you that through the miracle of modern medicine, there's a way to protect your child from that disease? The disease is COVID-19, and the medical miracle is the COVID vaccine. Please, if your child is 12 or older, get them vaccinated so they can stay safe and well. Call your pediatrician. A message from the American Academy of Pediatrics.
Brew with the genie.
Every third Saturday of the month, playing the soul classics from 9 a.m. until 12 noon.
Eye health is important to overall health, especially for children. 1 in 4 children have vision problems that, if left untreated, may result in learning issues and hinder their development. Children should have their eyes checked during the first few years of life and before entering school. For adults and children, early detection and treatment of vision issues can save the gift of sight, while comprehensive eye exams can help uncover various health conditions. Go to preventblindness.org. A message from Prevent Blindness, United Healthcare, and this station.
All right then. Hey, Brian, sock a soul to me, buddy. Wow.
Join me, Miss D.O.T., second and fourth Saturdays for the very best in oldies, 9 a.m. to 12 noon, right here on your listener-supported radio, KAZI, 88.7 FM.
One of our watchers, people that are watching on, said 1,000,000 times more. The abnormal becomes normal. That's when when we are released, we are expected to be normal immediately without any assistance to unpack, and that is definitely the truth. We are expected to be have persons be normal and in released into society to be normal when they haven't even been out and able to actually successfully reacclimate back into the community. Thank you, caller, for waiting. Good morning. You're on the Iron Sharpens Iron show.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
And how are you ladies this morning?
We're doing good.
Pretty good.
Thank you. Miss Cook, I've been trying to get through to you for a long, long time.
You got me.
And I finally made it through. I just want to make this point. I was previously incarcerated. I did 10 years in TDC. I've been out going on 12 years now.
Yay!
It took me 10 years to even find a place to stay or get somebody to let me stay at their place because of my criminal background. Wow. And once I found the place, now I have to leave because they're saying that a new company has taken over and they're not going to renew my lease. And it's really frustrating and it's hard because, like I say, I've been working 10 years since I've been out, and it took me 10 years to find a place to stay. I stayed in my car for approximately 10 years, and when I found this place, it's a nice place, but it has its drawbacks now. And what I like to know, Ms. Cook, is what can I do, or where can I go after my lease is up to find me another place? It's hard. I don't like paying app fees and being turned down. And I'm stuck at a rock and a crossroad. I work at a job right now that I like, and plus I have a side job that I'm a amateur softball official. I do umpire games.
Nice.
And it's been a struggle for me to just keep going. And you spoke of mental health, and mentally, this is killing me.
Yeah. Well, Richard, first of all, thank you so much for calling. And are you the one that the person is the reason why you're losing the leases because they sold the property and they're actually getting ready to do some kind of work in the house?
No.
Okay, we just had somebody call about that. Let me just say to you real quickly before I let you go and I answer your question. Our office number is 512-473-2525. Please make an appointment to come in and let's try to see if we can't work on something before your lease expires, and see if it's something that maybe we can do, even if it's temporary. If it's temporary housing that we can help you with until we can look at some kind of permanent support, permanent supportive thing. But make sure you call 512-473-2525, Richard, so we can try to do something proactively before you actually are out of your place. And if you'll hang up, I'll respond to what you said. Thank you so much for doing your due diligence to stay free and be the prime example of good people restoring themselves and staying in the mix.
I appreciate that. I really do.
All right, call us back.
I made a promise to my mother before she died, and I was incarcerated, that I would never go back to the things I used to do. And I'm trying to uphold that promise to my mom.
Wow.
And I will give you a call to find out if it's what I can do and how I can do it. Thank you so very much for listening.
As a matter of fact, just as you were speaking, somebody just texted and said that they have an answer for you, Richard. And so make sure you reach out to us today. 512-473-2525. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. You can join into this conversation, 512-836-2887 if you'd like to. Prime example.
Honestly, people don't think about how mentally deteriorating it is when you are incarcerated, especially people who are in solitary confinement. Doesn't have a window, no source of time, anything like that. We just don't think about how that can mentally affect people and what are they supposed to do when they get out of incarceration. What kind of help is there for them mentally?
And then also, just like what he was saying just now, the impact, the stress of just being displaced, after successfully being out 10 years working this, that, and the third, and then having his stability being removed from him. Good morning, caller. Thank you so much. You're on the Iron Sharpens Iron show. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. My name is JC.
Good morning, JC.
And what I wanted to share was my heart goes out to the gentleman that was just talking a moment ago. Mm-hmm. But I guess I got kind of a storybook ending, of not giving up. I was sentenced to 25 years in 1985, mm-hmm. and I did 18 years and 10 months. And I'm not even from here. I'm from Illinois. Mm-hmm. And
shout out to Illinois. Yay.
Yeah, Champaign, Illinois. And so I just closed my eyes and prayed, and when I opened my eyes, my finger was pointing at Austin, Texas. Mm-hmm. So when I got here, I'm just going to give you a short version. I went to a halfway house. I started working at Subway for $7.25 an hour and worked on my way all the way up to a manager, and then I started working for Reed's Cleaners as a second job, and then I went to Goodwill and started working, and then to Inline and AWP. And my thing is that when I got out, before I got out of prison, I had set some goals, and one of those goals was I was going to find me a church home and a job. Mm-hmm. And so that was going to be my suggestion to the gentleman that was just on a moment ago. I found a church home. My church home is at Mount Sinai Missionary Baptist Church, where
Reverend Mays,
pastor is A.W. Anthony Mays.
Wonderful.
And I'm one of his ministers. But anyway, to make a long story short, I worked for the state for 18 years and 10 months for free. And God blessed me to be working for the state of Texas right now with benefits.
Wow.
So, it can happen, but you got to work hard, and you got to want it, and you got to surround yourself around people that is going to have your best interests, and just do right. February 3rd was my last day on parole. God found favor for me to be able to go into the prison even while I was still on parole, mm-hmm. and teach the word of God to the inmates, which I currently do at Travis State Jail on 969. Mm-hmm. Also, God has blessed me with a beautiful wife. We've been married for over 8 years now. May 6th was our 8-year wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Yes, ma'am. And so, you know, the thing is that you just got to, for me, ma'am, was, you know, you got to trust God and you got to do right.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do right. And then when my parole was over, February 3rd, and I'll end it right here, was I felt like I was free when I gave my life over to Jesus Christ. But it solidified it. February 14th, Valentine's Day, I got to vote for the very first time in my whole life. And I tell you what, when you get your voting rights back, man, I mean, if you don't feel free then, I don't know what to tell you.
Hey.
But I won't take too much of your time. I just wanted to give you the short version.
JC, wow, thank you for such an uplifting story. And you know, not only that, it's not a story, it's life. You know, I mean, what you're saying is real life. And you know, congratulations on definitely on all your victories. And I hope that we get an opportunity to meet you. Please make some time to find out where MELJ is and come see us.
Yes, ma'am. Also, I want to shout out to Sister Juliet Washington. She's my sister in Christ. And we sing in the choir together. Yeah, we sing in the choir together.
Well, very good, JC. Juliet's a good person. Thank you so much for calling, and continue to tune in and listen to the Iron Sharpens Iron show. Thank you so much.
All right, man. And KAZI is the best radio station in the land.
I have to agree with that. Woo! All right, JC. 512-836-2887. As we coming down to the wire, we have just a little bit of stuff to how wonderful of a story to hear about people who are successfully, even in the midst of being, being with what I consider the scarlet F, even with that, moving forward, trusting, having faith, growing, and basically giving yourself the courage to live above what people have labeled you as. And so, man, what great calls this morning from Richard to JC. 512-473-2525 is the number to MELJ Center. We are available. We are a veteran organization.
Yes,
18
ma'am.
plus years. We have got 1 minute. So let's get it down. First of all, shout out to our engineer, RJ, who is just thebomb.com. We are forever grateful to KAZI for allowing us to have this particular opportunity to speak information to you about this very serious issue. I just want to take a minute and say to those of you all who are listening who have not supported yet KAZI, but you listen faithfully and have, please send in a contribution and support KAZI, your voice and the choice of Austin. Ashley, we'll be back here.
Yes, ma'am, we will.
Yes, we will be back here. And shout out to you. Thank you so much for being one of the best parts of MELJ. And people, we are not without fault. If there are things, or if you know people who would want to get onto the show, want to talk about your situation or your business that you may have going, please give us a call. We'd love to have you. And as you know, your success is important to us. Next Thursday, 9:30, we'll be back. Have a great day.
Bye, y'all.